Morning guys, welcome. Today is Saturday the 30th of June. Myself and Layla are all ready to head out. It is 20 to 9 in the morning and we're ready to go. Little one was desperate to get out of the house, so anyway, we're in the car now, we're ready to head off, and I thought I would just start the vlog here. So this is just a little weekend vlog covering Saturday, Sunday. So essentially today the boys, our cats, Hugo and Derek, are arriving in London later today. So I just thought I'd vlog the weekend. I'm going to be going to get them. My husband Perry is actually in New York at the moment, and yeah, so just sort of like a brief synopsis. Layla's going to stay with my parents while I take the boys down to my in-laws. They're going to be staying there for a few weeks until we sort some stuff out. But yeah, so that's the plan. This morning I'm taking Layla out. We've got to go pick up a few little bits for the boys. I've got most things for them, but I just need to grab a couple more things. We're gonna head off now, pop to a pet shop, pick up some supplies, and then head back. So we got here quite early. It's only 10 to 9. The shop's open at 9 o'clock, so not that early. So I think I'm gonna get out, walk around with Layla. Poor thing, she's really not feeling well. She's looking quite sleepy and a little bit out of it. She's super like runny nose and stuff like that. I think she's got a bit of a cold, but she's been like that for a couple of days now, but she looks really out of it. Poor thing. So I'm probably gonna get her out, put her in a stroller, so if she wants to have a nap she can. Yeah. Let's see a doggy. Yeah, it's a doggy. Alright, so we're all done with the shopping. Layla didn't fall asleep in the end. I think getting her out of the car perked her up a little bit. And yeah, we got everything we needed. And yeah, we just sort of toddled around a little bit, got Layla out of the stroller, let her stroll around. There was a couple of times that she just wanted to run out into the middle of the car park, and I was just like, ah! And then we, you'll see one of the clips earlier on, there was a little pug dog that was running around, and Layla was like pointing at it and stuff, and we bumped into that pug again, and this time Layla was out of the stroller, so she went up to him and like started stroking him, and he got all excited, and they had like a cute little moment, which I wasn't able to film because I didn't have my camera out and ready, and also I thought it would be a little bit weird because obviously the pug's owner was there as well. I just thought that'd be a bit strange, and also I was trying to stop Layla from falling over and stuff because the pug was incredibly energetic and kept jumping up on her. She wasn't scared. She loved the whole thing. Like, she loves dogs, but it was more just out of I guess out of respect for the dog owner as well, not to just randomly start recording her dog. Anyway, so we're gonna head home now. I've just picked up a coffee and some food, and yeah, so all prepared in case Layla falls asleep in the car on the way home, which I suspect she might, looking at her. So yeah, so I guess I will check in with you guys a little bit later once I'm back home. So she fell asleep about, like, not even 30 seconds after I last recorded. Like, I wasn't even out of the car park and she fell asleep. It's over an hour, she is still asleep. This rarely ever happens. I've been sat outside her house for about an hour now, and yeah, she rarely stays asleep this long, especially in a stationary car. So my coffee's finished, my food is finished. and I'm still waiting for her to wake up so we can go inside. But anyway, so I'm just watching some Queer Eye on Netflix on my phone while I wait for her to wake up, which, by the way, really good program. Don't know why it took me so long to start watching the new season, but it's so good. Look, you finally decided to wake up. Yeah? You ready to go inside? Are you ready to go inside? Alright, I'll take that. Come on, should we go inside? No, we're going this way. We're gonna go back inside, honey. Going for a walk? Alright. Yeah? Is that a stone? We don't go into the road, honey. So I just came upstairs to finish packing my last little bits and getting my stuff together to like pack up the car and get going, with the idea that I probably had like another hour or two to wait before the boys will have cleared customs. So I just called the airport to see what their status was and see what the status was and whether or not, you know, how much longer they thought it was going to take. So called, they've landed. They landed like a few hours ago. They're perfectly fine, everything's good, and they should be cleared. They should have cleared customs in about the next 20 minutes. So I'm going to leave now and go get my babies, and take them down to Perry's parents and spend the rest of the day with them. Layla is going to stay here with my parents. She's going to have a great time. She's had a nice long nap this morning, so she's going to be full of beans for a while before she has to go down for another nap. But yeah, so that's the plan, and yeah, I'll take you along with me. Alright, here we go in the car, and let's go get the boys. Hey, so I'm stuck in some pretty bad traffic and we're moving at a snail's pace, so I thought this might be a good opportunity to have a bit of a chat with you guys because I'm bored out of my mind. And I'm on my way to pick up the boys. I'm about less than 20 minutes away because of the traffic. If there was no traffic, I'd probably be there in about less than 10 minutes, which is really frustrating. But anyway, I'm on my way. So I thought I'd catch you guys up a bit with what's been going on. I had planned on podcasting this past week, but due to some things I wasn't able to. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you probably haven't heard, or you might have not seen it anyway because of the weird way the algorithm is working these days. I was really ill last week. I'd actually been feeling unwell the week before, so just before I got back from New York I started feeling a bit funny, a bit under the weather. It wasn't anything major, it's just I wasn't feeling particularly great. And then I got back. My flight back wasn't particularly great either. It really did my back in because of the way I fell asleep on the flight. Even though I didn't sleep for very long, the way I did fall asleep, it was like the worst thing I could have done. Anyway, so I felt pretty rubbish most of that first week I got back, but I wasn't feeling too bad yet. And then it got to the weekend, and last weekend was one of my best friend's hen parties, which was so much fun. We went axe throwing, which sounds really random, was so much fun. I managed to score a bullseye at one point, which was really, really interesting. I came third overall out of the group, and but yeah, I definitely feel like my chances of survival in the event of a zombie apocalypse has greatly increased. And if I remember, I will try and stick in a clip of that. So that was really good fun. And then in the evening we were going out clubbing. We went round to one of my friends' houses to get ready and like to games and dinner and stuff before we headed out. And it was around that time I started to feel a little bit queasy. I started to feel a bit unwell. I wasn't sure what it was. Anyway, it sort of went away for a while, and I thought, you know what, it's one of my best friends, it's her hen party, I don't want to just go home early because I'm feeling a little bit unwell, because honestly it feels like every time I've had an event or something going on lately, I've felt unwell for it, and I don't know why. It's just really annoying, and I didn't want it to interfere, so I pushed through. I went out. I don't really drink anymore these days, to be honest. Since having had Layla, or since getting pregnant, really, I've just lost the taste of alcohol, and I don't really fancy it, so I wasn't actually even drinking, so it's not like there was, you know, it wasn't because of that either. Anyway, so I went out. I didn't stay out too late. I left early enough to be able to catch the last train home. I still didn't get home till after midnight. But then Sunday morning we went out for brunch again. I felt fine Sunday morning. And then Perry, Layla and my parents and my brother had gone out to watch the World Cup game on Sunday. So I went straight home after brunch, which turned out to be a really good idea, because I basically went home and felt absolutely rubbish as soon on the walk home from the station, and basically got home and just passed out for a couple of hours. Like, I was so not well, and it basically all went downhill from Sunday. And then, yeah, so I felt rubbish all week. Perry left for New York on Tuesday morning, so I pretty much struggled through Tuesday, Wednesday and most of Thursday with Layla. Thursday morning, late morning, I went to the doctor to get checked out. It wasn't a particularly helpful doctor's visit, I will be honest. I had hoped for a solution of some sort, but I guess, you know, I kind of had a feeling I knew what it was. She diagnosed it as being a traveler's bug that I probably picked up on my way, or whilst I was in New York, or on the way back or something. It's something that's been going around. Anyway, so there was that. And then, oh, and Thursday, my dad, bless him, he was trying to help me out a little bit, and so I could rest, because I was downstairs, let Layla run riot while I sort of curled up on the sofa, and I was like, fine, do whatever you want, I'll deal with it later. And then my dad got home. He'd been out earlier, and he got back and he was like, you go upstairs and lie down, and then I'll watch her, it's fine. And I was like, are you sure? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay. And I really wasn't feeling up to arguing with him over that anyway, so I just went upstairs and laid down and left him with Layla. And then when and then just before I left to go to the doctor's, I got Layla's lunch ready, because whilst I was gone, she was going to have her lunch, just to the timing. Anyway, I got a little bit annoyed because I had a doctor's appointment for a specific slot. I got there and like checked in for the appointment, and they were like, oh, it's going to be about a 40-minute delay, which was infuriating already because it was so close to Layla's nap time as it was. And then that was just going to push it late. And then, so 45 minutes later, I was finally seen by the doctor, and she just like wanted to chat the whole time. And I was like, I'm in a bit of a hurry, I need to get back home. Anyway, 20 minutes later, I left with like nothing, essentially. She just gave me some Diarrhea, which is kind of like to help rebalance your salt levels in your body and stuff like that, to stop you getting too dehydrated and things like that. And she was like, basically, it's gonna pass on its own. So I got home. My poor dad, he called me whilst I was waiting to tell me that Layla was really tired, and I was like, yeah, well, there's not much I can do about it. Like, I'm still waiting to be seen. She needs a nappy change, and like, I need to put her down for bed and stuff. I'm just gonna have to hold on until I get there. Anyway, so I get back, and he's gone and changed her nappy, put her into pajamas, and she was all ready for bed. And I was like, and he was like, she just wouldn't go to sleep. I'm like, thank you for doing all of that. And I just quickly went and put her down, and she was fine. She went to sleep really quickly, but it was really funny. And my dad fell asleep on the sofa. He pretty much has a nap every day as well. He's a bit like Layla. They both need like a 2-hour nap in the afternoon. But he slept until like 5 o'clock. I've never seen him sleep that long in a day before. Like, he must have slept for about at least 3 hours or longer. I think Layla really knackered him out for like the 2 to 3 hours that he was watching her that morning. Which my mum thought was hilarious, because she was like, that's actually more than he's ever done when me and my brother were kids, in terms of like solo parenting, looking after when we were that young. So anyway, that was quite funny. Thought I'd share that. But thankfully, as of yesterday, I've been feeling much better, much better. I had a very productive work day yesterday, which was nice. It was needed. I've not had oh, there's an ambulance. No, it's not not coming this way, okay. I've had some really rubbish work days lately. Layla goes to nursery a couple of days a week, and those are usually my work days, but with... Where is that ambulance going? I can't even see it anymore. Okay, it's definitely not coming this way. I've had some really rubbish work days lately, just because whenever Layla's been in nursery in the last few weeks, I've either been travelling or I've had appointments and other stuff come up, and it's just always interfered. Pretty much for the last month I've not had a decent work day, and then so I felt really good to have a very productive day yesterday. I got a lot of work done, made good progress on some new designs, and yeah, and I've actually brought a lot of my work stuff with me, so hopefully this evening I'll have some time to work on that as well. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much caught us up to where we are now. I really need to film a podcast soon because I have a lot of stuff to share with you guys and a lot of stuff to talk to you guys about. I also need to do a prize winners video because there's some prizes I need to announce, and I actually have a questions video I want to post. I'm probably going to ask on Instagram as well for you guys to let me know if you have any questions you want me to ask. I'm going to do kind of like a Q&A video, answer a bunch of your guys' questions, and I have a few questions for you guys, so I thought it'd be fun to have a bit of a back and forth question session. You guys can ask me some things and I'll answer them, and then I'll ask you guys some things, and hopefully you can help me out a little bit, do a bit of market research, get your ideas and input essentially on some plans I have for upcoming designs, collections, etc. I'd like to hear your thoughts, and yeah, that's it. I think that pretty much catches us up to where we are, and I will check back in with you guys later. Alright, I made it. I'm still wearing my glasses, which I no longer need. Alright, off inside to go get the boys. I made it. I think they're both hiding under their blankets. Aww. Just relocated them into a new carrier, so that'll fit on the back seat of the car. Alright, boys are all loaded up in the back there, in the back seat. There we go. And yeah, their crates are in the boot. I didn't want to put the boys in the boot in their crates just because there's no AC back there and it's a really, really hot day. The car's registering it as 34 degrees, which I have no idea what that is in Fahrenheit. I think that's like high 80s, 90s maybe. It's hot, that's what it is. It's very, very hot. So with the AC blasting, hopefully the car will cool down. There was nowhere to park in the shade, unfortunately, but I'm just going to plug in the coordinates or the postcode for my in-laws and get going. So we made it to Perry's parents and the boys are all settled. Yeah. Spent the last hour or so chatting with Perry's parents and getting them settled in, getting them some food and water. Got a little litter tray set up, so they're going to be in here for the rest of today. And yeah, and then later this evening I think I might let them out to explore the rest of the house. So yeah, so they're just going to be in here for the rest of today. It's already now 20 to 5 in the evening, afternoon, so most of the day's already gone. They seem to be doing alright. They've both been checking out that chimney and getting all dusty and covered in cobwebs, but they're doing good. So it's a little later in the day. Perry's parents have headed out for their event this evening, and I'm just sat here knitting and watching Queer Eye, which is still really, really good. And yeah, so I'm working on a sleeve. As you can see, I'm just on the cuff. This is actually the second sleeve. I still haven't finished the body, but it's very close. So this is, if you aren't, and if you don't know, I am working on a new pullover design. This is very similar shape to my Parisian Dreams pullover, which is very sort of boxy, slightly oversized drop shoulder pullover, except the Parisian Dreams pullover was knit bottom up and it has a lace panel, like lace all over the front, This one is knit top down, and it is a waffle texture all down one side and stockinette down the other. And I'll quickly show you what it's looking like. So this is the waffle texture side. As you can see, the body's not finished yet. I've already done 3 of the colour stripes. There will be 5 colours in total. Sleeve 1 is already finished. I decided to colour block it the same as the body. I had originally planned on just doing the sleeve all in this dark colour, but I thought it felt a lot starker than I realised it would when I picked up in this dark colour and I started knitting it. So I ripped it back and I started again. So now I am at the cuffs of the second sleeve. Would you believe it? I started this sleeve last night after Layla went to bed, actually after I'd had dinner. So I started this sleeve at like 8 p.m. last night, and by I think it was like 12:30 when I stopped. I'd already started into this last colour. So today all I've done is just knit about maybe 10 rows in this last colour and doing the cuff now. So I whizzed through that sleeve. Seriously, colour blocking is very similar to stripes in that I feel like it goes a lot faster with your knitting. So anyway, the yarn I'm using, you might want to know, is Primrose Yarn Company on the Margot base, which is a MCN. It is actually 150 gram skein, so they're quite large, and I think if I remember correctly, it's 595 yards, or it's like 545 meters, something like that. I was drafting the pattern yesterday, so I remember the numbers from having figured it out. Move that out of the way. So the colorways are When Legos Attack is this first color. The second color is I think it's Crimes of Passion. The third colour is the Picket Line or the Parade, if I remember correctly. The fourth colour is From London with Love. I think that's the right way around. Or this one and that one might be the other way, might be switched. Let me just double check. No, I got it right. So When Legos Attack is the first one, Crimes of Passion is the second one, Picket Line of the Parade is the third one, From London with Love is the fourth one, and Morticia is the last one. Morticia is a very, very dark, sort of almost black purple. There we go. And lovely tonality to it. It's a lovely tonal to end it on. So that's that, and the back obviously is in stockinette. I say the back, but this sweater is completely reversible. The neckline is identical on the front and back, so you can easily switch it around. And yeah, so I'm excited to get the second sleeve finished, and then all I have is the last 2 colours on the body, and then we're donezo. And I've already drafted the pattern, so once this is finished, I can just once it's blocked as well, then I can do the final pick it up now. I can do the final measurements and any final adjustments to the maths, double check the gauge. I always find that my swatch gauge is never exactly the same as my finished garment gauge. Just it reacts differently once it's in a bigger garment. I find it's always been that way, I think. So I always take my finished final gauge from the finished piece before finalizing a pattern. So it's mostly all done. Then I need to figure out yardages. That's going to be a big one because this is a 5 color project, so it's going to be interesting to figure that out. But yeah, otherwise the pattern itself is drafted. It's just some bits of formatting and final little bits and pieces that need to be done with that. So that's really, really good. That was one of the things I got done yesterday, which I'd really wanted to do, which was nice. And I've started working on another sweater design idea, which is one that I'm doing with Mon Sheep Shop, in collaboration with Mon Sheep Shop, and Cindy very kindly sent me the yarn a while ago now, and I shared it on the podcast and you'll have seen it already. But it's for like a mummy baby sweater pattern. So there's gonna be a children's version and an adult's version. So I'll probably start with the children's version first, just because it'll be quicker and I'll be able to see how that knits up, and it'll be quicker and easier for me to see what changes need to be made on a smaller scale version of a garment than it is on an adult's one. So once I've done the children's one, then I will draft it for the adult size. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. And then I'm already halfway through drafting that, so I just want to cast it on and make sure the initial instructions make sense. And then once I have done that, then I can go through and finish that one off as well. So I'm hoping to finish this cuff today, this evening, and then maybe start on that children's garment, because I did bring the yarn for that with me. And and yeah, see how we go. Oh, and in case you're wondering, the boys are doing absolutely fine. I'm not sure where Hugo is right now. I can't see him, but I think he's sleeping on one of these. Oh yeah, there he is. He's sleeping on one of the dining table chairs. And Derek is over by the windowsill having a little snooze as well. So that's Hugo on the chair there. And Derek's over on the windowsill. So I decided to let the boys out of the room now. So they're going to go explore the rest of the house. Hey guys, back again. It's a little bit later in the evening now. I think it's gone 9 o'clock. Yeah, it's 9:30. And I'm upstairs with the boys. Hugo is under the bed and Derek is on the bed with me. He's being super snuggly. He was not happy when I first came upstairs. He was just walking around downstairs crying. And I didn't understand why he wasn't just coming upstairs, but I didn't think he realised he could. I don't know. Anyway, I went down and grabbed him, brought him up, and he's been happy on the bed next to me ever since. Having said that, he's just gotten up, so we'll see if he sticks around. But at least he knows he can come up here now, so that's good. They've settled in pretty well. They've both eaten, they both have had water, they've both gone to the litter tray, so, you know, all positive signs. So, yeah, looks like they're going to be okay here, which is nice. And yeah, I'm trying to think what else I was going to say. Oh yeah, so that's the other, Layla did fine as well with my mum. Obviously I knew she would. It wouldn't be an issue. Tomorrow I probably won't end up staying as long as I was going to originally. Which isn't an issue really, because they're fine, so I don't feel too bad about having to leave a little bit earlier in the day. But the main reason being my cousin is over with her family from Seattle. So my aunt, who lives in London as well, her daughter is the one who's over visiting from Seattle with her husband and 2 kids. So I'm really looking forward to catching up with them. They're coming over tomorrow afternoon, evening for a barbecue. So, so I want to get home in time for when they come round. And yeah, so it's gonna be a busy day again tomorrow. But yeah, all in all, it's been a lovely relaxed evening. It's been really strange. I was speaking to Perry's parents earlier, and this is the first time I've actually been to their house completely on my own, without Perry, without Layla, without anybody, just me and the cats. But yeah, it's just been really nice. It's a very quiet house when there's no one around. And yeah, so they're still out, they haven't gone back yet. But yeah, it's been a lovely day. I finished the sleeve on that pullover, and I started, oops, sorry, I tilted that too much. I started that children's pullover based on my notes from yesterday and stuff. So I've started very briefly, like that's all I have to show you. So not much to see there right now. I'll work on that a little bit more this evening, and we will see how far we get. But then in terms of other things, there are loads of things I want to catch you guys up on. I have a ton of finished objects to share with you. It's been a while since I've done a podcast, and some new design stuff coming up. Oh, there's a new pair of socks being released tomorrow. I'll show you in the morning. The lighting right now is not particularly great. I'll show you those tomorrow. It's for the Wanderlust Sock Club. Sorry, I'm trying to remember which clubs they're for. I think that's it really for now. I can't think of anything else I wanted to tell you guys. Perry leaves New York tomorrow evening, so he gets back Monday morning. It'll be so nice to see him again. This last week has been particularly rough. My parents have helped out wherever they can, but it's just one of those things that it's when you're feeling terrible and you have to look after your toddler, there's only so much that other people can do. when they also have jobs and lives and things to get on with. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna say good night, and I will catch up with you guys again in the morning. Morning guys, welcome. It is Sunday the 1st of July. It is, I was going to say bright and early, but it's not. It is 10:30 in the morning. I had a really nice lay-in. I woke up about an hour and a half ago, which is really nice. Just woke up nice and quiet, really relaxed. Hugo was at the foot of the bed, Derek was underneath the bed, kind of switched places. And yeah, it was just really nice. Just been hanging out with Perry's parents, catching up on how their night went, and yeah, so I just came back upstairs to grab some bits, and wanted to tell you guys a couple of things. First of all, today's 1st of July, so I've released the next sock pattern in the sock club, and this is from the Wanderlust sock club, and it is the Coddywomple socks, and this is what it looks like. Knit out of Once Upon a Corgi yarn on her Isaac base, which is 100% Polworth. It's really squishy, and it's a really fun texture pattern, and I'll show you on this other sock. It will be a bit easier to see. So it's this really fun knit pearl texture with the slip stitches introduced, which just adds a little bit of extra dimension to the overall pattern. It's really fun. And I've really enjoyed working these up, and I love it in this tonal green colour, which is the Narnia colourway by Once Upon a Corgi. And yeah, and this is the German short row heel. I actually think which one is it? I actually made a bit of a boo-boo with these socks when I knit them. I'm not sure if you can tell, but I did the mini heel flap on this one, and I forgot to do it on this one. And I didn't realise until I was a lot further down. But either way, doesn't matter. Still looks good, still fits fine. One's a little bit tighter over the instep than the other, but these are just for me, so it's not a problem. I just thought it was a little funny something that I would share with you guys. So this pattern is now, should be in your, if you've got the Wanderlust Sock Club, this pattern is now in your Ravelry library. You just have to go and update that collection. You should have the email message from me as well about that update. So that's that. And the other thing I wanted to share with you guys is a bit of a design fail. And it's not really a fail, it's more a learning experience. Nothing's really a failure as long as you learn from it. And I thought I would share with you what went wrong with this design, and maybe my thoughts behind why that happened, and how I'm going to fix it. So, and this is another reason why if I'm doing especially a garment pattern that's going to be sized for adults and children, I will always start with the children's size first, because it's smaller, so you will see progress quicker, and also any any issues with the design will become apparent a lot quicker. So it would have taken me much more knitting time to figure out this was going to be an issue if I was knitting a size for myself than it has been knitting a size for Layla. So so yeah, I'm just going to switch the camera around and show you what I'm on about. Okay, so you can see here the design is striped between the two colours, and I like the striping, but I kind of feel like I'm not entirely happy with the width of the stripes being exactly the same. At first I thought it would be fine, but it's starting to look a little bit, I'm not quite sure, it just doesn't feel quite right. And then what I've done is, along the raglan increases, I have this cable running down, but only in the red colour. So what that means is when I'm knitting with the grey, I'm having to slip the stitches on the back. And so because the stripes are every 2 rounds, it means for every 4 rows of actual knitting, there's only 2 rows of knitting in this cable column, because, you know, for 2 rows the stitches are being slipped. So what that has done is, I don't know how clear this is to be seen, is that it's a lot tighter along this section here than it is in this section, which is causing some bunching to happen. which I'm not liking very much at all, and it's going to affect the gauge and the way this knits up and the way it lays on the body. It's just not going to look great. So what I did was, towards the end, I was trialing out what it would look like if I did 4 rows of the red to 2 rows of the grey, which means there'll be more knitting. It'll be 4 rows and knit out of every 6 rows, which should cause less pulling in this section. Obviously I haven't done a lot there to see how that works out, because I just sort of stopped after a while. So, but I think that's going to work out better. It's going to work out better for the cable. I think it's just all going to look a little bit neater, and I like the contrast between the width of the stripes as well. I like the fact that the red is going to be wider than the grey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip this out and start again. So this is just one of those things that, you know, an idea that I had initially, the original idea didn't quite pan out how I wanted, so I'm just making a few modifications, and also turns out the idea I had initially just wasn't how I saw it in my head. When I see it worked up, it just doesn't quite work out how I thought or how I wanted it. So I'm making some changes to get it to be the way I do want it, and I feel like with the wider red stripe it's going to look a lot nicer, and the unevenness of stripes is going to look a little bit more interesting than just having even stripes throughout. So I'm toying between the idea of having 4 row stripes or maybe even 6 row stripes to 2 row grey. So we'll see what I end up doing. I might do the 4 row for the children's size one and then do 6 rows for the adult size one with 2 rows of grey, just so there's a bit of difference between them in that regard as well. So that's where I'm at, and the yarn that I'm using. So the red one is called Little Red Hood, and the grey, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's a speckled grey, which is really beautiful. And these are both by Mon Sheep Shop, and the project bag is one of my ones, which from handwoven fabric from Bahrain. And yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm now just going to sit here and unravel this, and yeah. Alright, so now that's all unwound, I'm just going to sit down and redraft that beginning bit of the pattern again, and then I can recast on and start again and see how that turns out. Well, I had quite the panic for the last half an hour. I couldn't find Derek. I was getting ready to leave and I couldn't find him anywhere. I've scoured the house up and down, and I got really worried that maybe he'd slipped out earlier at some point. I don't know why, because he's terrified of being outside. Anyway, eventually found him underneath my mother-in-law's bed. So he's fine, he's there. And I searched there at least twice before, but he was like hiding in between some boxes that I didn't see. Anyway, found him. I had been basically walking around the house for half an hour shaking a bag of treats trying to get him to come out. But nope, he was asleep and just wasn't bothered. So anyway, with that in mind, I'm now running a bit late. I was planning on leaving about almost half an hour ago, and yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna head off now. The boys are both upstairs napping, and yeah, so I'm heading off back up to London. Look at you in that little dress. Oh, bien. Tiens, Miguel. Hey guys, so it is now Monday the 2nd of July. I've just gotten back from dropping Layla off at nursery. I sorted myself out some breakfast, got some fruit in my coffee, and yeah, I'm just about to settle down to enjoy my breakfast first and then get started with some work. And I'm hopeful for another productive day. His flight should be landing in a couple of hours, so he'll be home as well soon after that. And yeah, so I just want to round out this vlog. I got home yesterday around 3, and I just got changed and then took Layla out to go for a drive to get her to have another nap. Like, if she napped, she had a really long nap this morning, in the morning, but it wasn't going to be enough to get her through to bedtime, so she needed another little nap, and it's usually just easier to do that late afternoon one in the car. So we went and did that, and then we had guests over, and yeah, one of my cousins, I mentioned it earlier, I think, was over from Seattle with her family, and so they came around to visit, and they had a great time playing with her kids, who are quite a bit older, but she still enjoyed it. And yes, that was our night last night, and yeah, so now I'm just going to crack on with some work, and I will chat to you guys again soon. Alright, bye!